So welcome back to Sky School's common paramotor mistakes. In this episode, we're talking about takeoff. One of the most common mistakes people make is not utilizing all of their runway. So here we are on a day where the wind is up to about 4 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour maximum, so quite light and ideal for forward launch and reverse launch if you're good. Now, what we're doing is therefore setting up right at the back end of this flying site so that we can use all of this space, and we've got a good 300 meters plus before we get to any form of obstacle, and that gives us loads of time and a huge safety margin. The only time you don't use all of your airfield or runway is when there's a bit of wind, and you want to still be set up towards the back, but I would allow for a buffer zone should the wind increase and pull you back a tad. So you don't want to find yourself being pulled back into these obstacles. Remember, there are 4 steps to taking off correctly. It is inflate, control, and that means letting go of your A's and applying brakes. Also, correcting during that controlling phase if the wing's off to one side. Remember, we have to maintain forward speed, so we need to keep running. And then once that wing's above us, we want to taxi. And this is the bit that people love to miss out because they're in such a rush to get in the air. However, if you fail to taxi, one day, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, one day you will fail a takeoff and it could result in a broken propeller or worse. So, inflate, control, taxi. And during this third phase, the taxi phase, we're getting our chest straight. So we're presenting the thrust line directly forwards, not down. We're also loading the wing up with pressure. And the way we're doing this is by applying about 20–30% of power. And during this phase, we're actually going to raise our hands up in order to allow the wing to generate more speed. Because what we're then going to do on the 4th phase, the actual takeoff, is apply a little bit of brake, which allows us to take off extremely easily. One of the most common mistakes is failing to prepare the glider, failing to launch it directly into wind, and not being symmetrical. Check out the video above which explains how to do this correctly. It would be much easier for me to give you a bad demonstration with all of the common paramotoring mistakes. However, I'm not going to do that. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, push forward, wing comes up, I let go of my A's, I check both wingtips. Now in the taxi, I go head up, chest up, and I'm happy with that. So full power, hands up, and now keep running, a bit of brake, and I climb out into wind. The trick with reverse launch is ground handling, and then launching that glider symmetrically, having prepared it correctly. As you can see, I gently lift it up on the A's, I turn, I maintain forward movement while controlling the glider, checking the wing. Now taxi, head up, chest up, hands up, full power, and a bit of brake. Check out the video above which explains more about reverse launch ground handling techniques. There is much more we can add to this, so by all means leave your comments and we'll see you in the next video.